Hi! Welcome to Imagine with IlluminArt. My name is Gideon. Today we will be writing a form of poetry called a Sestina. If you'd like to, you can write with friends even while social distancing, or you can write it yourself like me. This is recommended for students in high school and middle school. What's up, IS2? That means grades 6 through 12. And my students at PS39 who want to write, check out my haiku hoogaloo lesson if you want to write some poetry. So, welcome to Sestinas while social distancing. For this lesson, we'll need a pen or pencil, paper, 5 pieces if, like me, you're writing one on your own. And that's all. Now let's do a vocab check. What's a Sestina? Well, first, my Spanish speakers may recognize the first part of the word Sestina. It sounds like el número seis, the number 6. That's no coincidence because, as we'll see from our definition, the number 6 factors in a whole bunch. A Sestina poem has 6 stanzas of 6 lines each. The words that end each line of the first stanza are used again as line endings in every stanza, but rotated in a different order using a set pattern. After the 6 stanzas comes a 3-lined envoy, which contains our 6 words. Let's look at an example of a Sestina. This is called A Miracle at Breakfast by the poet Elizabeth Bishop. What are the words that end each line? I see coffee, crumb, balcony, miracle, sun, and river. Let's look at the second verse. Are those words still there? Yes, they are. They're ending each line of the poem, but they come in a different order. And we find these same 6 words again when we look at the other verses. Now, as we remember from our definition, our line endings are rotated in a different order using a set pattern. And I think the best way to show you how that pattern is set and what a 3-lined envoy is to build our very own Sestina. So let's go ahead and do that now. So in building a Sestina, the most important thing I'm going to need are 6 words. They're going to repeat over and over. So my first 3 words will be things that have represented challenges for me during this time when a lot of us have to stay at home. And my next 3 words are going to be things that have been positives for me since we've stayed home. To help us keep track, I'm going to number each of my words. Let me show you. Number 1, loneliness. And I've been away from a lot of my classes and I miss all the students I get to teach. 2 is computer, because I thought I was good with computers, but I've been challenged to do all kinds of new things with computers for my work. 3, rain. It's rained a lot where I am, so I haven't been able to get outside. But let's get to the positives, my other 3 words. Bicycle, because I recently fixed up my bike and I've been riding it around a lot when it's been nice outside. Number 5, spaghetti. I've been eating a lot of it, and I've got a great recipe for the sauce. And 6, puzzles. I just started a huge jigsaw puzzle, and it's been a lot of fun solving it with the people I'm with. Great, I have my 6 words. Now, what do I do with them? Well, let's get our first sheet of paper, huh? And let's be sure to write a 1 at the top so that we know that this will be stanza 1, this whole page. And we know that one of these words is going to be at the end of each of these lines. So let's go ahead and fill in our words at the end of each line in verse 1. Loneliness will be that word. Then we'll have computer, rain, bicycle, spaghetti, and puzzles. Great! Now that we're at it, let's go ahead and set up the rest of our verses. So turn your page over, write a 2 at the top. This will be stanza 2. And let's go ahead and number all our pages so we can match up all the stanzas. Now, I want you to get one extra page and write envoy at the end on top of it. As we remember from the poem A Miracle at Breakfast, our 6 words we're using as line endings go in a different order with each stanza, and it rotates in a set pattern. But let's actually talk about what that set pattern is. You start out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's look at the set pattern for stanza 2. It goes 6, 1, 5, 2, 4, 3. Wait, what? This just seems to be random. How will I remember it? Well, let me show you the way that I started making these. So if I take my numbered list of words again, 1, loneliness, 2, computer, 3, rain, 4, bicycle, 5, spaghetti, 6, puzzles. Now here's how we figure out the order for stanza 2. If I take my pencil and I place it on the last word, puzzles. Now I'm going to draw a spiral, and I'm going to circle up to word 1, loneliness. Then down to 5, spaghetti, 2, computer, 4, bicycle, 3, rain. So you see how it goes in a spiral? That's the way it works. So if you ever get stuck while you're writing this, this is a good way to remember. Just take a pencil to the stanza that came before and draw this spiral. Great! Let's fill out the rest of our stanza sheets. Flip over to stanza 2. Remember, we numbered our stanzas. And we continue this process with the spirals for all 6 of our stanzas. If you'd like, you can keep that cheat sheet around of that table, but I like to remember it this way. Plus, I get a poem that has a bunch of spirals on it. Excellent. One more question. What's a 3-lined envoy? Our envoy for a sestina is a kind of half stanza. It has 3 lines that includes all of our 6 words we've been using as line endings for our stanzas. In each line of the envoy, our 2 words are paired. So you can see the first line has words 2 and 5. The second line has words 4 and 3, and the third line have words 6 and 1. So one thing to note is the first word of each of these pairs can go anywhere in the line, but the second in each pair is the line ending. So, for example, in my sestina, line 1 will have word number 2, which is computer, anywhere in that first line of the envoy. And the ending word for that pair is number 5, spaghetti. Now, the second line of the envoy will have number 4, bicycle. It'll be anywhere. And it will end with word 3, rain. And the last line will have the 6th word, puzzles, and the first word, loneliness. Fantastic! Now we know what a sestina is. It's all set up, and now it's time to write the poem. If you're having a hard time coming up with your words, or even just getting started at all, here are some strategies to get unstuck. If you're working with friends, take some time to check in. Give every person 1 minute to talk about their week. What was a challenge for their week? What was a positive? If you're working on your sestina by yourself like me, do a free write. Get an extra piece of paper and start by completing this sentence. This week I felt like, and fill in the blank. And after that, fill a whole page, letting the words take you wherever they please. You can also throw on music for a minute and have a dance party. If you watch some of my other writing videos, you know that I like to move. The body has a lot to say too. When you finish doing this or all of these tasks, you should have a bunch of words to choose your 6 from. If you're working with other people, you should decide who is writing which stanza. Just make sure you go over very carefully whose stanzas are whose and the order of words as line endings. While, unlike sonnets and haiku, there are no official rules about how many syllables each line has. Personally, I really like writing with meter, so that's how we're going to do it. See, when I'm focused on counting syllables, I judge my writing less, and I'm focused on making sure it fits. This is the meter I use with every verse of my sestinas. The first line has 7 syllables, and lines 2 through 6 has 10 syllables. And with that, you have everything you need to write a sestina. When you've written your sestina, it can be exciting to share your first draft. Do a dramatic reading on the phone with friends. Or if you wrote one by yourself like me, speak it to your spaghetti and bicycle, whatever you used as your inspiration. Here's what I wrote. It's called Quarantine Sestina 1 by Gideon Bautista. 1. I believe in loneliness. The kind where you're stuck at your computer and can't go outside because of the rain. So I can't go riding my bicycle. Instead, I just reheat my spaghetti and get stuck in unsolvable puzzles. 2. I used to complete puzzles way back before I felt this loneliness. My favorite one was of spaghetti. I ordered it from my mom's computer one day. We couldn't go out because of rain, and I couldn't ride my small bicycle. 3. How I loved that bicycle. I could hop on it, forget life's puzzles, and I'd ride it till it started to rain. And back then, I didn't know loneliness. Say, I didn't even have a computer. All I knew were meatballs and spaghetti. 4. Man, I loved Mom's spaghetti, spinning on my fork like a bicycle wheel, turning faster than a computer, solving Mathematicas' big puzzles. Childhood dinners without loneliness, those sweet summer days with no drop of rain. 5. Nowadays, each day has rain. COVID binds me tight as spun spaghetti, and not going out breeds more loneliness. So I started work on my bicycle, cleaning, piecing together like puzzles, look up things I don't know on the computer. 6. Turning off the computer brings me a peace like listening to rain, or the flow you find in solving puzzles. And tonight might not be Mom's spaghetti, but she did buy me my red bicycle, and when she calls, we lose our loneliness. The computer turns my mind to spaghetti, and my bicycle may be no match for rain, but solving puzzles helps solve loneliness. Thanks for tuning in. Share what you have, and check out our other YouTube videos on this channel, like them and subscribe, and tell your friends.